So I figured I would come live because I've gotten quite a few messages. I just posted something, and it's something that's really, really close to my heart. I saw someone had posted, hi everyone. I saw someone had posted something about Little Caesars and how, I don't know if it was an employee or the owner or what, but they had noticed that someone had been digging through the garbage. Whenever they would close, they would dig through the garbage and eat from the dumpster. And so they put up a sign, like, whoever you are, come in during working hours and get yourself a few slices of pizza. You're a human being. You deserve to eat. That was beautiful. That was seriously beautiful. And so I've gotten a couple questions, quite a few messages actually, since I posted that a few minutes ago, asking, because I mentioned something about promises of soul and, a center, a soul sanctuary. Well, the soul sanctuary is not something new to me. It's been something that's really been weighing very, very heavily on my heart for quite a few years now. And a lot of people are asking, like, what is that? Is there one already open? Not yet, but it will open. It will open. So this center, if you don't know the work that I do subatomic bio-spiritual work. Not new age stuff, none of that. Like, this is actually documented work that I'm doing. And this center, I'm going to be teaching people how to do the work that I do, energetic work. And they're going to be doing this for free for other people, along with me. This center doesn't charge anything. I don't want money to be involved in this center. And if I have to bankroll the whole thing, then I'll do it. I just got to position myself to be able to. But the center is going to do more than just teach energy work, give energy work for free. This center, I want it to have the ability and capacity to provide shelter for those in acute need of housing. I want to be able to grow our own food and teach people how to cook actual whole foods, meaning true nutrition, meaning we're not just getting cans of food and and you guys, it's a beautiful thing to be able to donate to groups that support the homeless, but really taking cans that are almost expired, food that's expired, and hey, at least they're not hungry. It's actually a lot worse for homeless people because their immune systems are often very, very compromised. And so if they eat foods that will upset their stomach, it's already a very delicate balance that their bodies are in. So something has to be done. I understand it's not just me that's going to be able to do this. I have to allow other people to help me. But, just to answer some questions, this center, I want it to have that. I want it to be able to house people temporarily until they get on their feet, to feed people, not just their bodies, but their soul as well. I'd love to have an area that's dedicated to really supporting and encouraging parents who are attempting to advocate for their children. These new children, they're the next evolutionary step for humanity. They don't need to be medicated. It's very, very rare for these struggles that new children tend to have to actually need medication. What it is the professionals are not trained to understand what the true root causation is, how to address it, and the parents receive no help, none. And being a parent of quite a few highly evolved souls, I understand the struggles, and luckily I'm able to see through past the struggle and see exactly what the root causation is, and I'm able to advocate for my children. But a lot of parents, they don't know what's going on. Yes, meds to suppress. And you can't exactly fault the parent they don't know what to do. And when a professional is telling you your child is damaged, they need to be medicated, that's what you believe. That's what you believe. These labels that the children get, ADHD, I have ADHD. It allows me to function on a multi-dimensional level. Things like that they're not handicaps. And, a large portion of the center that I want to open will be helping to teach parents how to harness, these are gifts. They're gifts. How to harness these gifts and teach their children that they're not damaged, that it's because they're here to help others ascend. And, the center will eventually open sooner, hopefully, rather than later. But yeah. And if this is something that has been really running around in your mind for some time now, try your best to make it a reality. Whatever little thing you can do, try. Personally, for about 2.5 years, I was living in an RV, traveling coast to coast nonstop. And I was trying to assist people as we went. And, it's not enough. There needs to be something organized to help people. These are people too, guys. These are people too. We often forget about remembering the humanity, not just within us, but within the homeless. Oftentimes they're overlooked. There's a lot of judging that goes on, condemnations. It's not uncommon for people to think that just because someone is homeless, that they're lazy, that they just don't want to work. A large portion of the homeless communities are vets, ex-military, who served this country and then were tossed away. Remember that, okay? Remember that. A lot of our tax dollars goes towards a whole bunch of bullshit. A whole bunch of bullshit. And I have my personal views on it, but none of that is really important. What we need to remember is that we're all in this together. At our natural state, before we were taught to compete, we're about co-creating. We existed in a state that everyone's needs were important. Everyone's needs were addressed. And as we shifted from a matriarchal to a patriarchal society, all of that kind of disappeared. And then we began to compete with each other. We began to participate in a system that, this system's not broken. This is how it's supposed to work. You can't fix something when it's working the way it was meant to work. And so what's happened on a soul level, quite a few of us came as indigos. We came with a promise to terraform the minds of societies. And now the indigos are of age. They're in places of power. They're ready. We are now implementing the very things that we promised on a soul level. And as we do that, as we begin to shift the kind of paradigm we exist within, it's becoming a safer and safer environment for the more highly evolved children to come. And, we have to do our part. What are indigos? Indigos are a wave of souls that came between the 1950s to the end of the 70s, early 80s. That was the tail end of the wave of souls. These souls are a very warrior-like spirit. They are peaceful warriors, meaning they want peace. They want stability. They want everyone to get along, everyone to be provided for. But if you trigger their need to defend, they will fight you. Absolutely no questions. They don't care what the consequences are. They will be the voice. They will stand up. They will speak out. And if need be, they will lash out. And those are indigos. It's not some sort of issue with, defiance to authority. No, They come with built-in bullshit detectors. They know when you're lying to them. They know when you're BSing them. They know when you're trying to be a little thief. And they're not going to play that. You could still be an indigo. Even if you were born in 99, you could definitely be a tail end of the indigos. But yeah, we do need to work together. We absolutely need to work together. We need to begin having these very real conversations, not to, tear down any groups or criticize or any of that, but a really open conversation where we can begin sharing ideas and just reigniting each other's sacred flames. People who are like me, who have come here to do the work that I'm doing, it's exhausting. It really, really is. It's very easy for us to become jaded, to become very just like, whatever. This is just whatever. But then I speak to you guys and, it's very inspiring. It's very, very inspiring. And so that's what we need to do. We need to continue with actual conversation, with sharing of ideas and allowing ourselves to just share of our journey, what we've experienced, our thoughts, so we can help each other to better form our opinions. Opinions can be a positive thing. They really, really can. It's not always a negative, just like ego can be a positive thing. It's not always a negative. So yeah, we have to begin forming communities, and in a community, there doesn't need to be one leader. There really doesn't. We can lead together. Let's see. For ourselves, it's simple enough. To get the programmed to understand is much more difficult. Well, see, that's the thing. And I love that you said programmed instead of sheep, because that's another tool of separation. Okay, so people who are programmed, and all of us are programmed from birth. All of us, every single last one of us, are programmed until we get to a point where our soul is so offended by our participation in the system we came to dismantle that we then begin to rebel. Okay, so the programmed, it's not our place to wake them up. It's not our place to deprogram them. It's our place to stand as a testament to the truth within them that they have yet to acknowledge. And as you continue to stand as an example of authenticity, as an example of how true a person can be, then it will begin to jog their memories and they will choose for themselves. Because as sovereigns, we can't try and dominate other people. We can simply share our truth as we know it and give them enough love and space to choose what they believe, what they want to participate in. Right. Jeepers Creepers. I knew exactly what you meant by that. But for those who are not familiar yet, and the fact that you use the term programmed tells me you have a much deeper inner and understanding. When people get on their spiritual high horse and they start talking about, the sheep, I'm woke, 5D, and Mr. and Mrs. 5D, you exist in a paradigm that's a 15-dimensional creation. You still bottom rung at 5D. Get over the label. You have still so many levels to climb. Stop focusing on other people and how they're failing, and instead focus on yourself. Empower yourself, and in others witnessing your self-empowerment, it will encourage them to empower themselves as well. Stop with the labels. And I'm so guilty of this because for a period of my life, I became very jaded and I was just like, those fucking sheep. Fucking peasants. I used to get real mad. I used to be like, I can't believe you don't even understand this. And then something in me shifted. Something in me realized, if I'm a reflection of God, okay, if I'm a lower reflection of God, would God scream at a flower and be like, you're not fucking blossoming right? You're not blossoming fast enough? No. Instead, God would water it more. Make sure the soil is the proper composition for the greatest potentiality of growth. Allow that flower to experience the warmth of the sun. God would love on that flower. And so something shifted in me, and I understood for the first time, that's not love. Attempting to dominate and force you to be right along the path where I'm on. Right where I'm at. Like, you need to hurry up. Like, no, they don't need to hurry up. They're exactly where they need to be. Exactly where they need to be. And they don't need to agree with me. They don't need to understand. But I will continue speaking my truths. And it will enter your ears. And when you're ready, even if it's years from now, when you're ready, you'll be like, that one girl, she said something about this, and holy shit, I get it. And I don't need the credit, because the things that I'm saying, they're not just my words. These are messages that all of our souls are having conversations with us over. And most of us are not listening. So is it really, it's my words, I need to copyright it, you can't copy me? Like, no, go ahead. Deliver that message like it's your words, because it is your words. We come from the same source. We are of the same consciousness. They're our words. And once we get to that level, we realize we're actually all on the same level. We're actually all on the same level. In the truth of spirituality, there's no pedestals. There's no gurus. There's no teachers. We're all teachers and we're all students. And we're all in this together. And regardless of what you believe, spiritually speaking, religion, philosophy, whatever it is, it's irrelevant. Because we all rise together. No one gets left behind. There's no hell. The only hell that exists is the one that you create within your own mind. That's all there really is, you know? And so once we stop competing, comparing, we then begin to enter a phase where, what can we do? There's no more I. It's just, what can we do? How can we help ourselves? We as a tribe of souls all agreed, every single last one of however many billions of people are alive right now, we all agreed to experience this together. And whether I'm aware of you consciously on the other side of the world or not, my soul sees you. So when someone is on the streets, destitute, hungry, that's me. That's a part of me. It's no different than if my child was out there, hungry, afraid, feeling insignificant. And how can you tolerate that? How can you? I'm not saying you're wrong if you can tolerate that. I'm asking how. How can you? How ingrained is that program of separation that you can't see? That is you. That is a part of you, struggling outside of you. How can you tolerate that? I can't. I can't. And I understand there are limits. Humans have limits. And that I'm just one person. But the truth is, I'm not just one person. I'm not just human. I'm having a human experience. And souls don't have limits like humans. So really, it's just a matter of me becoming more comfortable with allowing my soul to shine a little bit brighter. And once it shines enough, everything that my soul promised on a soul level before coming into this life comes to fruition. Everything. And there's times where I get really hard on myself about like, you should have already had this done, girl. You should have already opened that sanctuary like 2-3 years ago. And then I remember, no, You needed time to come to terms with who you are, what you're here to do, how it completely negates the programming. Everything you've been programmed to believe about yourself is being undone. And so you need time. And all the souls that you made these promises to, they understand. On a soul level, they understand and they're willing to wait. But still, you see little things that remind you. We're willing to wait, but remember, we're waiting. And so I see that post earlier and it's like, I get it. I know. I know you guys are still waiting. I know. And I'm trying. And so one of the first things that needs to happen is more people need to know whatever it is they need to know. They need to know some of the plans that I have. They need to know what it is that my heart longs for. Because as I continue this journey of like really beginning to understand and accept myself, who I am, there are those who will come across my live streams, my posts, whatever it is, walking down the street, I don't know. And when they come, I'll be in a position to better accept the help. Because that's actually one of the things that I struggle with the most, is allowing people to help me. So, that's beautiful. Thank you, Faith. That's so true. Wow. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. You know it's a truth that's hit down to your core. When you lose the words to try and explain it away, that's true. That is so true. She says, not waiting, Emmy, standing with you while we all heal. That is so true. I love that. Yes, Jimmy Justice 920. Absolutely agree with you. Say you're woke all you want, but you're still here on the third dimension for a reason. Call yourself a starseed, call yourself whatever you want, talk about how advanced you are, all you want. But you're still here. You're still here with us. We're all still experiencing this together. So all the labels, what does it matter? And to be very, very honest, the more I evolve as a soul, the more I understand, the more I remember, the more I recognize how very little we actually know, how very, very little we're actually even aware of. A large portion of what we don't know, we don't even know we don't know it. Oh my gosh, how do I know what I am? I just do. I just do. And I've spent my entire life trying to quantify who and what that is. How do you quantify something that a human mind can't comprehend? A greatness that humanity just can't comprehend. The moment you begin to put labels, it's like if you were to ask me, what is God? How do I define God? The moment you begin to attempt to define God, it ceases to be the totality of what God is. God is limitless. God is omnipotent. When you begin to use pronouns like he and things like that, you're limiting it. So I'm a lower reflection of God. Who and what am I? Part of a whole, cleaved off to experience something that God asked me to experience. And what is God? To me personally, God is the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between. Everything and nothing and the spaces in between. Do we have to understand in order to exist? No. Do we have to know who we are in order to be? No. Do we have to believe in ourselves in order to do what we came here to do? No. Being a lower reflection of God, does God need you to believe in God for God to exist? No. But I tell you this, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in yourself, God absolutely believes in you. You've been entrusted to interact with others in the ways that you have, and none of that was wrong. Everything was perfectly orchestrated to grow everyone involved in the highest possible way. And sometimes it takes a few years to recognize what that moment was gifting you with. Sometimes you're so consumed by the pain that was needed to serve as a teacher that it takes you years to understand what that was gifting you with. And that's okay, because in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to souls, time is non-existent. It just isn't. And your path of ascension is not linear. It's not done by numbers. You don't have instructions. You can't pray or meditate your way to knowing who and what you are. And in truth, true spirituality is the shedding of those programs, even the spiritual ones. That's true spirituality. That's connecting truly to your divinity. And if you want to argue with me about Jesus this and Jesus that I 100% believe and know for a fact Jesus existed. Did he want to be called the Son of Man? I believe he called all of us the children of God. I believe he categorized every single living human being as a child of God. And I also believe he would not have liked knowing that he's been separated from the group that he came here to love. Because his message was about reunification on all levels. Reunification of peoples, of nations, reunification of self and soul, of masculine and feminine. Much of his work he did with Mary Magdalene, who was then later on vilified, accused of being a prostitute. I think he'd be very disappointed with what was done with the truth of his teachings. Absolutely. Now, am I saying religion is evil and wrong? I'm saying if you need religion to connect with your divinity, if you need it as a crutch to help you remember you come from a divinity so beyond the comprehension of humanity, continue to participate in that religion. Continue to cultivate your understanding of yourself. I'm telling you to listen to yourself. I'm telling you no one else has the answers that you're looking for, and that no one else should be consulted and given the power to dictate how your life is supposed to go. That as a representative of God, you need to begin remembering what you're representing and behaving in accordance with that divinity. And love is not always, gentle and fluffy and pink hearts and hugs. Sometimes love has to be firm. Sometimes love is the very thing that crushes you when you've become overinflated. And sometimes the utter destruction that love brings to your door is the very destruction that you need to tear down all of these false things that you've begun to believe about yourself, all these walls you've constructed, tear it all down. Sift through the wreckage of your heart and use the pieces that are necessary to rebuild a fortified structure, one that can raise you all the way back up to the divinity that you actually are. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay too. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. I am going to remind you that you just are. You just are. You're here to experience things. And for me personally, I know part of my experience is helping humanity in such a broad scale way that it shifts the paradigm we exist within. And again, if I need to be made an example of, I'm strong enough. And whatever parts of me break will be used in my rebuilding. That's just that. That's a fact. That's just a fact. That's what I've recognized in this life that I've lived. It's not the avoidance of the destruction that makes you strong. It's what you do with the wreckage after the war is done. That's deep. That's deep. So when you recognize that, when you recognize the people and the circumstance that comes into your life to destroy you are actually serving such a higher purpose than what they realize, regardless of their intention. It's really regardless of what they intend. They're growing you. So is that hatred or love? Or is that misunderstood love? Is that an omni love that we just don't understand, and so we're trying to quantify, we're trying to organize. Our human mind needs order. But what we actually need to remember, the purity of divinity was chaos. From chaos came the cosmos, came order. And so when you get all chaotic, when life is getting chaotic, take that as a sign. Those are labor pains. You're rebirthing. And I mean, when someone who's pregnant in the process of birthing, are you mourning? Or are you anxiously awaiting that moment of celebration? Shift that perception. It is all love. Melly Nelson, it is all love, because according to the principles of mental alchemy, you cannot have opposites existing on one plane. On a singular plane of existence is one thing in varying degrees, and depending on your positioning, your degree of positioning on that plane of existence, that's what determines your perception of what you're experiencing. So you have love and you have hate, and they both exist on the same plane. And you slide that pendulum. You go from love and you slide, and it's really like, and then it's like, and then it's and then it's and then it's like, don't really like. At what point did that become love and hate? It's still the same thing. The concept of hate is such an illusion. It's misunderstood and misplaced love. Just varying degrees of positioning on the same plane of existence. And if you really, really want to get into it, if you don't feel love, you're not going to hate. You're just not going to care. Hate is something when you feel frustrated about something you love. When your limited human understanding can't comprehend why the love is not happening in the way you expected it to. But if you really, really want to get to the heart of what's the opposite of love, it's just not caring. You don't care. And it's not like the human, I don't care, do whatever you want. No, you're mad. You mad and you just saying you don't care. You care. But your pride is telling you not to say something because you don't want to be disappointed. When you already are. You're already disappointed. You just don't want to make it known that you're disappointed. But when you don't care, it's like, whatever, I don't care. There's no feeling. There's no disappointment. So when you get mad, it's because you're hurting. It's a wounded love. And that's not a weakness. In order to heal a wound, you need to form scar tissue. And scar tissue just happens to be the most strongest tissue in the body. So if someone is saying ugly things to you because you're wounded, wear your wounds like the armor it is. Every wound is evidence of your fortification. Every wound is evidence of your refusal to bow down to tyranny. Every wound is confirmation that creation refuses to allow you to remain broken and has always made good on its promise to fortify you. Someone accused me of being a wounded healer. Fuck yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm one of the most wounded you will ever meet. And I say that with pride. I'm one of the most wounded people you will ever meet. And what kind of grace and strength does it take to be as wounded as I am and still choose to love in a soft way? You can't break me. Wound me all you want. All you do is add layers to my armor. All you do is prepare me for war. Keep trying. All you're doing is helping. And if you see your life in that way, how the hell do they break you? This recognition that even if you get broken, it's perfect because the bullshit falls away and all the other pieces can be used to fortify you even further, raise you up even higher. How do they break you? They can't. They can't. And really though, those who are wounded make the best healers because you know exactly what that pain is. So if you're a healer and someone calls you a wounded healer, say thank you. I appreciate that you recognize that. I appreciate that you acknowledge how much I've sacrificed to get to the level of inner and understanding that I can choose to help someone in an elevated way. Thank you for recognizing that. And really the only thing that can break you is your perception of what is said and done. That's the only thing that can break you. And even then, I'm pretty sure your soul's not having that shit. Process your feelings and rise. Because I hear that from my soul all the time. I want to toss in the towel and just like, I don't want to do this shit. I don't know who volunteered me for this. I don't want to do this shit. Boo-boo. Process your feelings and rise. It's giving up on yourself is not an option. Even when you think you've given up on yourself, all you've really done is learn to be flexibly strong. And you know, they say when you lean into that asana, when you really, really submit to that position, you find reserves of strength you didn't realize you have. And that's, if you really want to excel, if you really want to develop spiritually, it's not in the practice. It's not in the technique. It's in your willingness to fully submit to the will of soul. Full submission. forehead to floor, where there is no fear. Just allowing yourself to fully submit, because you're not submitting to anyone else but yourself. Oh, Silver Lagoon 23. Tears are release. They're the very waters that water your roots. All you have to do now is stand in the light of your truth, and then you begin to bloom. No one else has the power to do that. Only you do. So when they make you cry, when they surround you with the caca, they try and shit on you. Thank you. Thank you for the fertilizer. All you've done is ensure a much more bountiful harvest. That's all it is. People try and shit on me all the time. All the time. They try and shit on me all the time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then they get mad. They get mad that you're not mad. Oh, I'm so sorry. You thought you had the authority to dictate. You don't. I'm sorry. You wanted me to be angry, but I denied that request. I'm not angry. I'm thankful. Thank you for doing your job and assisting me. You peasant. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, it's a lot to process, but it's such a simple truth. And I think why it's a lot to process is because it's so simple. And those who are highly intelligent have a tendency to have such a difficulty with the most simplest things. They can do some seriously complex computations, but you ask them for a really simple, no, that can't be right. That's too simple. Oh, but that is right. Life is really that simple. Change is inevitable. Pain is necessary. Everything outside of that is a wild card. That's all you have to take in as your truth. Change is inevitable. What was the other one? Well, hot damn. I don't know. Pain is necessary. Damn, that hurt to try and remember. You guys, really, I don't know everything. I'm just going by what I've lived through. And I lived through some shit. I've lived through so much. I've just lived through so much. I remember it was recent. Someone commented and it was like, it was on one of my Claire Tarot readings. If you only knew what I've lived through, you wouldn't find it so easy to laugh. Oh no, I would still laugh. At you, probably not. But I would still laugh. Because one of the most powerful things that I can do is choose to continue to be happy after everything that I've been through in life. You cannot take my happiness away from me. I don't care where I live. I don't care how poor I am. I don't care how hungry I could be. You will not take my laughter from me. And if I feel like laughing at the dumbest thing ever because I'm so easily entertained by myself, I so am though. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm kind of like, girl, you're really not that funny. But I am. But you're not going to take my laughter from me. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You don't get to take my laughter from me. And you don't get to tell me that me choosing to be happy, even though it seems inappropriate to you, like it's inappropriate timing, well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I got some funny shit going on in my head at all times. At all times. I'm just saying, you don't know who I'm conversating with in my head. You don't know. right, guys. I came on just to talk about the soul sanctuary. It's going to open. Eventually, it will open sooner rather than later. Again, it's going to be a place where people will learn my energetic system, Kokoro 33. Not only will they learn this system, they'll be invited to stay and practice it. You know, administer some love on those who are needing it. And this is not going to be something for monetary exchange. We're going to grow our own food, feed bodies and souls. We're going to help empower the children. We're going to be the change that we're wanting and needing and looking for. And you know, honestly, we already are the change. But this center is just going to help to better organize the effort. That's what it is. We already are the change. We're just extracting the cosmos from the chaos. We're creating order. That's a beautiful thing. Mikey says, the most beautiful of things are often the ones you wait the longest for. That's good. You should write that down. I should write that down. I said, you should write that down. I was telling Archangel Michael, and he's like, that was funny. You gotta laugh. You just have no sense of humor. Yeah, we are going to come together. We're going to do this together. You know, this was never just a project for me. It was never my thing. It'll happen. Oh God, my son's starting his music. Time to go. So, you guys, I am... Hold on. Here's the thing. I want to show this to you guys. So I make selenite swords. This is a patented design and I own the patent. It's a solid sword made of selenite. It has amazing metaphysical properties. I designed it in such a way that truly harnesses the greatness that you are. So this one I've been using for some time. I haven't really shown it until now. This has to do with extracting the toxic darkness from your life. Not all darkness is toxic, but this is about exercising that toxic darkness out of your auric field. And the reason I'm showing you guys this, if you follow my page here on Insta, and you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and you follow my page on Facebook, once I hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which that'll probably be soon, I'm going to have a randomized drawing. Someone's going to win this. Within this selenite is burned the coating that has helped me to rise from my own ashes. I'm just saying, this is some badass shit right here. I almost don't want her to go, but I think she's been with me long enough, and it's time for her to have a new home. How do you use it? So within your left hand, left palm is a receiving chakra. Copper helps to conduct electricity, including bioelectricity. You hold the handle in your left hand. The selenite, it is a catalytic amplifier. It catalyzes change and it amplifies, it pulls in and amplifies all the metaphysical properties of all the stones attached. All of that gets sent into your palm chakra, enters your auric field where you can expand it. And the moment you hold the blade in your right hand, you can send that amplified energy into the selenite, and you are now a closed circuit of biospiritual frequency. And as you send that booming energy out your right hand back into the selenite, it will then amplify that already amplified energy. Send it back into your system. Expand it some more. Send it out to the sword. Pull it back in. Expand it some more. Send it out to the sword. Pull it back in. Expand it some more. Send it out to the sword. Pull it back in. Expand it some more. Send it out to the sword. You do that all just by holding. You can even hug. And it really can amplify your spiritual practice. My subspecialty, my specialty is really not tarot readings. Tarot readings, oracle card readings, that's just something I do for fun. My specialty is actually subatomic attunements. I can access your morphogenetic template and rewrite your biospiritual coding. In addition to that, I'm highly specialized in parasitic extraction. High-level parasitic extraction. From Grant all the way beyond Draconian, I can address whatever needs to be addressed. And so that coding, that protective coding, is burned into this selenite. This selenite has been with me for 2 years. I've never shown her until I think last week. So all you got to do, follow me on all my social media. And we will be checking whoever gets selected. You have to be following all 3 or we'll select another person. Don't miss out on it. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. You're not being asked to share anything. You could be a low-key follower. You don't have to tell people about me. Just be a low-key follower. You keep sparking things around you. You're supercharged. You are supercharged. In the desert, I can't be in the desert. What happens to me in the desert, I lived in Las Vegas for like 18 months. Not long after we moved in, I went upstairs to one of the bedrooms to get something. We had a visitor. I was going to make an inflatable mattress for him. So I had the pump. I was holding the pump like this. Cord is in my right hand. I swear to God, the other side of the room where the outlet was probably 10 feet away. Walk in the room, and I swear to God, a blue arc of electricity came from the outlet 10 feet away, went straight to my hand, to which I dropped everything, screamed, and took off running. I'm not even joking. And I was like, what the F was that? They're trying to kill me. And then not long after that, it was a couple months, I think maybe 2-3 months, we were doing fireworks outside. It's 4th of July. So we're doing fireworks and I could feel something. I could feel something huge coming. And I was like, do you guys feel that? No one's like, what are you talking about? You guys don't feel that? And my husband's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I gotta go inside. He goes, wait, the chairs are still out here. And I said, oh my God, lightning's coming. I took off running because he had already picked up the last of the chairs, put it in the garage. And I was at the bottom of our freaking driveway. I took off running. And I barely made it under the overhang of the house when I felt like, and I was like, ah! Lightning hit like the end of our driveway. I'm fucking kidding you. I'm not kidding. The whole street went white, and I was like, oh my God, it almost hit me. I almost died. I was so scared. After that, I said, fuck this. I'm not going outside. Fucking desert shit. This place is trying to kill me. I'm not plugging anything in. I'm just gonna lay in bed. That's it. That's just it. So if you're very electric, that has a high tendency to mean that you're very high frequency. Your oscillation rate directly determines whether you're more magnetic or more electric. Those who are magnetic have a high vibration, low frequency, and that causes their electrons to spin in such a way that makes them more dense. So when you're saying I'm high vibe, you are high vibe. You low frequency. The key is for the frequency to be high. When you're very electric, like what you're experiencing, that means you have a higher frequency, lower vibration, your electrons spin more, and you become more electric. You become less dense, and that's what you want. You want to become less dense. The density is what causes the problems with the self-healing. So, and if you guys want to know more about this stuff, definitely consider joining my classes. Excuse me, I teach classes about this. It's called Kokoro 33, and you can find it on my website, Me Evolving All the Time. I break electric things all the time too. To date, I think I've exploded 4 microwaves. I'm not talking about it just shut down. I'm like, boom, smoke. That I've exploded 4 microwaves. I've took out a couple TVs. I've completely killed 8 or 9 deep cell batteries. The batteries for motorhomes, I've killed like 8 or 9 of those. I've taken out 4 alternators. One of my really, really good friends, he's a mechanic, and he's like, why don't you just wrap yourself in foil? I'm like, the car is broken again. And my husband, ever supportive, so loving, unconditionally loving towards me, because she didn't break it. Because I was crying. I keep breaking all the cars. He goes, she didn't break it. Well, then explain why it breaks only after I start driving it. He was like, okay, well, maybe you did. Was it intentional? No. So then it's okay. Yeah, we all are very powerful. We all are. Once you get out of your own mind, you get out of your own way, and you're able to do these things. Oh my, yes. Funny Bunny, seriously. It gets expensive. It gets real expensive real quick. But there are times where I'm like, shit, my phone's almost dead. Come on. And then the battery goes back up. I'm like, yes. I still can't do that intentionally, but it's a nice little perk. It's a nice little perk. So yeah. You guys, I gotta get going. My iPad's about to die. Oh, this is about to end too. So follow me. Follow me everywhere. It's Me Evolving across the board. Get yourself qualified to enter into the drawing. This is a solid. If I were to sell this, because I've taken a break, but I used to do auctions. For me, if I auction this will sell for about $800. Not even joking. I'm willing to just give it away because I'm not about money, guys. I have enough. I have enough for my family. I have enough to help whoever it is that I come across in my day-to-day. I want this to be so much more than just a monetary transaction. This is so much more than that. This has recorded my growth over the past year. That has to go to someone. And soul has to decide who that is. This is so much more than money. So, get yourself qualified. Stalk me, but not in real life. Bye, guys.